before we get into some chanting, the whole field of mantras is actually very interesting and very complex field. So we don't have that time. But basically, everything is energy, and energy is vibration. So in yoga, we call that as nada. So the vibration of energy is at different levels, is at different frequencies, which gives forth different layers of realities. So in Shaivism, we talk about a hierarchical layering of reality, but we don't have to get into that right now. So what you have to know is vibration, what we normally connect to is verbal sound. So when I'm talking, that we connect. Or sounds from outside. It hits our eardrums, and then on that basis we hear it. So that is some sound, one aspect of vibration we connect. We also, some people don't hear any of these sounds. They are mainly with their own inner words, their mind, creating stories all the time. You can be telling them something, but they will not hear it because they are really all the time hearing their own points. So that is called madhyama. So that also, many of us are quite adept in hearing and shouting. Then there is another layer called pashyanti. So that is what the yoga wants us to hear. That's not spoken. That's not thought of. That is the subtle vibratory reality of the various phenomena. So it's subtle vibration, and when you connect to that vibration, you start to connect to deeper dimensions. Otherwise, we are always caught in what is spoken, what we know as through the words, and what we think of them in our mind. We do not connect to anything deeper. So mantras are basically like sounds received by the ancient yogis, and then they articulated into an alphabet kind of form, which we can repeat, but it will generate vibrations by virtue of which you will slowly connect to deeper dimensions of your being. So that is simplistically put about the theory about mantra. So on Shivarathri, many people will get initiated into this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. That is like a 5-lettered mantra. Om we always chant at the beginning, but this Na, Ma, Shi, Va, Ya. It's like a 5-lettered mantra coming from the Vedas. So there are meanings to it, but more important than the meaning is the sounds are arranged in particular ways by which, when we repeatedly chant that, it promotes a great harmony and a quietening of the outer noises, and then we start to connect to something deep within us. So today we will be mainly chanting this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, and then we will also look into this particular mantra, which also will be chanted all over the world today. So later you'll be closed eyes. You can always open eyes and look to read if you want to. But just to get you familiar with this, I'll just say and you just repeat. Om trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam Urvarukam iva bandhanan mrtyor mukshiya amrtat. So the quick meaning is yajamahe. Mahe meaning, maha means great. So we evoke the greatness, yajamahe. And what is the greatness? Trayambakam, meaning the three-eyed one. Tra stands for three. Okay, so trayambakam means eyes. So we evoke the three-eyed one. And the three-eyed one we do not see as some kind of being which has one eye here, but what we mean is Shiva in that sense of being one with the past, the present, the future, being which sees the gross, the subtle, the causal, which sees the Ida, the Pingala, the Sushumna. So that is what we call trayambakam. So we generally go with the left and the right, success and the failure. We just don't see anything beyond that. So trayambakam means all that. So yajamahe, trayambakam. So trayambakam, yajamahe, sugandhim meaning which is always fragrant. Okay, so there's a fragrance to Shiva. And the implication is all of us are not fragrant always. So if we don't take a shower, if we don't put a perfume, we don't smell very well. Okay? The reason is we are always decaying. Okay, so we collect pollution and bacteria and all kinds of things, and we won't be very pleasant smelling if you don't brush teeth and put soap and put perfume and all that. But Shiva doesn't need to do any of that. Okay? So it's because Shiva is not a body. Okay? Shiva is a pure space which is always fragrant, which is always fresh, which is non-corruptible. So that's the idea. So we offer our respect and we evoke. The idea in yoga is more like we evoke. We don't say so much. Yajamahe in religious traditions is more like I pray to. So that would mean that it's like a god towards which we are praying. But in yoga is always that is a greater reality of ourselves. So we are evoking that reality. Okay, so that greatness we evoke, we feel limited, but I'm trying to evoke that greatness which can see beyond my success and failure, and which is always fragrant, and pushti vardhanam, which is always nourishing us, and Urvarukam. Urvarukam is an interesting thing. Urvarukam means a watermelon. So watermelon, I don't know how it is how it's here. The Indian variety grows on the ground itself. It's not hanging from anywhere. It's on the ground itself and it's connected to the creeper. And when it is ripe, nobody knows why that attachment with the creeper just snaps. Okay, so nobody has to do it from outside. And there is no gravity involved because it's fully on the floor. So here what they are saying is, like how this watermelon gets a release from its bondage with the creeper, Urvarukam iva bandhanan, like that, may I get mukshiya, from mrtyor. Mrtyor in a simple way is called death. May I get freedom from death, amrtat, and never from immortality. Okay, so that is the strong prayer. So it's we have to explain in depth. We don't have time for that. What I'm telling is minimum understanding of it is the watermelon is nourished by that plant, by that creeper, and once it has reached its full ripened state, it doesn't have to be attached to that creeper. And the watermelon and the creeper are like very wise yoga practitioners. They don't keep on clinging, and the creeper doesn't say that I am the one who grew you up and I am the one who nourished you, so you should not go away. It doesn't say, it just let's go. Okay? It's not running off anywhere, it's still there, but that clinginess, that is released, is not attached, it's released, it's freedom. So, like that. And death is not so much in terms of that, that dying. Death is when we can't live. So, any relationship, sometimes we can't live. So, any relationship in this context, what they're saying is everything the universe is teaching us something. And through all of that, there is growth in each one of us. Whoever we are meeting, whoever we are with, we are always learning and growing. And eventually, there is that ripeness which comes. And then out of that ripeness and maturity, we don't have to prove to each other or cling to each other. There is a release. We don't have to run away or hate each other or anything. That is still in bondage. But this is a release. So like that, the prayer is, may I evoke this greatness and which can release my bondage and my timidity and saying that, oh, without this I am dead. Without this I am dead. That kind of fear, may I be released from that. Okay, so that is a strong prayer. And people use it in many ways. That is bordering on the belief, but the way it is coming from a huge mantra portion called the Rudram, and that is meant for healing as well. So in India there are many places where there are cancer patients and there are terminally ill patients. This Rudra mantra will be continuously playing, and many people get a lot of benefits from that. And this particular mantra is chanted even like when you're taking a medicine, you can chant that at least around 9 times and take it. But this is again based on beliefs. You don't have to believe, but it's a beautiful invitation. It's basically talking about that may I live, okay, and may I never be detached from that immortality, meaning that freshness towards life, Let me live, let me flow. Okay, so that is the idea. So